Welcome to EDAS, Editor Assistant. This tutorial will focus on steps required to take post-conferences for IEEE conferences to submit the Xplore content to IEEE Library. First, we will provide an overview and then a walk through the settings. Please note that IEEE requires that all content be submitted no later than 30 days after the end of the conference. Let's review and discuss the steps required to be completed by conference chairs. First, pre-conference, make sure that the LOA is uploaded in EDAS at Conference Files. The LOA is the letter of acquisition. It is obtained by IEEE. The sooner you have and upload the LOA, the better it is, since we at EDAS can't proceed without the LOA. Next, check that the conference dates in EDAS match the conference dates submitted to IEEE. If the dates match, you can proceed on to the next step. If the dates do not match, please update either EDAS accordingly or contact IEEE and notify them of the conference date change. Next, you would need to designate a publication chair in Conference Configure, Chairs and Staff. The publication chair will be responsible to review and approve the Xplore zip file. For large conferences, designate one spokesperson to avoid confusion or last-minute changes. Next, as chair, you would need to decide which papers and tracks are to be included in Xplore or excluded. Check that all PDFs are assigned to sessions. And next, you should confirm that the Xplore request has been checked in EDAS in Conference Configure Proceedings. Please note that EDAS Help can't proceed with generating the Xplore zip unless the content feature is enabled in EDAS. Next, please review all the PDF issues. First, the PDF formatting checks. IEEE compliant PDF files should not contain bookmarks. They should not contain PDF links, and the fonts must be embedded. Next, the PDFs should have copyright forms. The copyright code will be set up within EDAS such that the authors can set up the copyright through the IEEE server. And lastly, the margin and spacing errors. Note that this is not an IEEE requirement, and it is up to the chair's discretion as how they would like to proceed with margin and spacing errors. Let's further discuss PDF issues. We strongly suggest that you enable all IEEE Xplore checks for the final PDF upload to avoid post-conference delays. This is done via Conference Tract's final manuscript page. The PDF formatting checks for IEEE compliant checks, such as the bookmarks, PDF links, and embedded fonts, should be set to Reject File. This means that the authors will not be able to upload their files should these files contain any one of these PDF IEEE compliant issues. It is the author's responsibility to provide usable PDF through the publication chair. In summary, the PDF should not be a scanned image with no text, should have copyright form, and should be an IEEE compliant PDF file. Once the conference is over, the following steps are required to ensure a timely delivery of Xplore content to IEEE. First, as conference chairs, please enter the no-shows as early as possible. Note that no-show papers will be sent to IEEE but won't be visible to Xplore users. Please refer to the FAQ link referenced on this slide for more information on how to handle no-shows. Also, double-check inclusion or not of special papers and tracks such as workshops, keynotes, tutorials, and invited papers. You can then proceed with marking the relevant milestone in EDAS as complete in the Conference Milestones page. And then please notify EDAS to proceed with generating the Xplore content. Once EDAS has created the Xplore draft, it will notify the publication chair to review and approve the Xplore content. The publication chair needs to review and approve the Xplore content by double-checking inclusion or not of special papers and tracks such as workshops, keynotes, tutorials, and invited papers, and reviewing and confirming materials such as front page, committees, etc. And once the content is approved, the publication chair marks the relevant milestone as complete on the conference milestones page in EDAS. Once this milestone is completed, EDAS submits the Xplore content to IEEE electronically and CCs the publication chair as well as updates the milestone in EDAS accordingly. Again, as a friendly reminder, Xplore content is due no later than 30 days after the end of the conference. In the next two slides, we will discuss the common issues and problems that further delay the timely delivery of the Xplore content to IEEE. First, if the LOA is not uploaded, as mentioned earlier, we can't proceed with generating the Xplore content unless the LOA has been uploaded. Next, PDF issues, such as missing copyright, formatting errors where the PDF is not IEEE compliant. As a reminder, the PDF should not contain bookmarks or PDF links, and the fonts should be embedded. If the PDF is not assigned to sessions or the PDF is a scanned image with no text. Another common issue is that the Xplore request has not been entered in EDAS. As a reminder, we can't proceed with Xplore generation unless the Xplore request has been entered in EDAS. And such problems such as papers or tracks have not been marked as included or excluded in EDAS, or if the publication chair has not been designated in EDAS. Also, conference dates that don't match between EDAS and those submitted to IEEE. And the no-shows have not been entered in EDAS and the relevant milestone been marked as completed. And lastly, the Xplore might be approved internally within the chairs, but the relevant milestone is not marked as approved in EDAS. As a review, here is the checklist of actions required by the chair for IEEE Xplore pre-conference. And the actions required post-conference. In this part of the tutorial, we will demonstrate where to configure the required steps as outlined earlier in this video. First, upload the LOA letter of acquisition in conference files. Next, check that the conference dates match that as submitted to IEEE, conference configure, names, dates, and locations. Next, designate a publication chair. In the Chairs and Staff tab, this is where you would designate a publication chair. Next, decide the papers and tracts to be included or excluded. And you can do so by going to Conference, Tracts, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and note the field that says Papers appear in post-conference proceedings such as IEEE Xplore. You can edit the pencil and check or uncheck for the track. You can also update the paper configuration to include or not include in Conference Xplore. Papers, list and export, list papers. If you click on the paper page, there is a field, appears in proceedings, and you can edit the field requirement for a particular paper. Next, check to see that the PDFs are assigned to sessions. When you list the papers, papers list and export, you have the option to include session information. When you check the box and list the papers, you will see a list of your papers and the list of sessions. Here, all 3 papers are assigned to sessions. The next step would be to configure the proceedings request in EDAS. As a reminder, EDAS conference services cannot proceed with generating the Xplore content unless the request has been entered in EDAS. And to do so, go to Conference Configure, click on the Proceedings tab, click on the Own Proceedings link, and check this box to prepare IEEE Xplore submission. This is for IEEE conferences only. Note that extra charges apply. Submit the request, and the set of milestones are created. Go to Conference Milestones, and as you can see, the Conference Milestone page has the list of milestones, with each milestone identified with the due date, who's responsible for the milestone, a description, and the color coding scheme. Completed milestones are marked in green, overdue milestones are marked in red, imminent approaching milestones are marked in yellow, and the further future deadline milestones are marked in white. The next step would be to check the PDF formatting issues, such as the IEEE compliant formatting checks, missing copyright, or missing sessions. First, let's check the parameters for the formatting issues. In Conference Tracts, scroll down to Final Manuscript, click on the second edit icon, and check to see that the 3 IEEE compliant requirements are set to reject file. The first is check that all fonts are embedded. The next is check that the PDF file has no bookmarks. And third, disallow links in PDF. And you can copy these settings to all tracks in the conference and subconferences by clicking on this checkbox. Next, you can check the PDFs under Papers, Manuscript Problems. You can either select specifically which ones you would like to check or check all. And you can list the PDF formatting errors by scrolling to the bottom of the page, selecting Final Manuscript, and List Papers. And this grid shows the number of PDF errors and the type of PDF errors, from author initials to margins, spacing, not embedded, gutter, etc. Another useful tool to check is to go to Papers and select Show Accepted Paper Status. This is a grid of all the types of PDF issues, from IEEE compliance to missing sessions to copyrights, good reference to be able to identify the different PDF issues. The next step would be post-conference, and that is to mark the no-shows in EDAS. We refer to an FAQ link outlined earlier in this tutorial video. Here is that FAQ link. It describes on how to handle no-shows, and particularly what status means exactly what and how it will be treated in Xplore. And once you have entered the no-shows in EDAS, we ask that you complete the relevant milestone in Conference Milestones. Once EDAS prepares the Xplore draft, it will be ready for the chair to review and approve the relevant Xplore content, as well as the milestone. EDAS Conference Services will then submit the approved Xplore to IEEE electronically and copy the publication chair. This concludes our short tutorial on EDAS. Thank you for your time. For questions or more information, please feel free to contact us at the email listed on this slide.